Mama's in the living room watching Judge Judy. I'm in the kitchen eating leftover sushi. And she goes, oh, girl, you gotta hear this one. A man was arrested for running a theme park. And when they said, where's your license? He said, my dog ate it. Oh, you can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on her Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, girl, you gotta hear this one. Mama loves to laugh at how absurd life is, says it's all a comedy and I'm her audience. And I love the way she makes fun of the world. She said, you'll never guess what's with their girlfriend. It was a man who didn't get us out of the bed. He said, I've been through hell and now I need some help. You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, girl, you gotta hear this one.
Hey everybody, it's Squid. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody is doing well on this Wednesday. We're gonna make this kind of a quick stream because I have a little bit of a fever today. Not bad. It's like 100.2 or something like that. It's not like clinical fever yet, and a little bit of a headache, and we're just not feeling great today. However, I did get my my mic stand today, so my hands are free and I can type. One more thing with the ergonomics video that is here and working. I'm still figuring out how exactly I'm going to record that, and I have to do this. I'm sorry. So sorry I'm in the dark. Bad lighting, but your girl's got a headache. So we'll see how how today goes, because it's just a day, and I still have 2 more loads of laundry to fold. We're just having a day. Ugh, Wednesdays always suck. I'm always tired on Wednesdays, but more today than normal. However, we got stuff in to film the video. I just have to figure out how, because I have all these ideas of things I want to do and all this content, but like, I'm a boomer when it comes to tech. In case y'all haven't noticed, I am not great with like how to use technology, how to set up shots. Like, I'm working on a shot list, which I've never made a shot list for anything in my entire life before. So like, having to process all of this stuff, I have so many ideas. This is why I wish I had someone smarter than me, like as a next door neighbor, because I need help. But I hope everybody is doing well, and thank you NTM for the obligatory chat comment to help me with the algorithm. See, I'm out of it today. So, but Hung Hero, as always, thank you for the 20 Squid Protocol memberships, turning the chat green, and all of these videos that I'm going to be filming. Sorry to my members, but you are my guinea pigs. All of these things with health related and actually using my degree as an occupational therapy assistant, my certification as a corrective exercise specialist, my clinical lymphedema therapist experience, all of these short form 10 to 15 minute videos that I'm going to be trying to make are all going to be members only, because y'all get to help me learn. Y'all get to be the guinea pigs. Congratulations. Sorry, but Thanks. I don't exactly know how to say that one. And then Calvin Stover, thanks for being a member for 3 months. Hello, Squid and everyone, and hi to you. What are we trying to do? Oh, did you just try to open that by yourself? Yeah. Okay. She came in here. I thought she was crying. It was like, no, she's like trying to open this by herself. You're getting so big. Here you go. High five. Can I get a hug? Hugs. Thank you. Oh, I love you. All right. So we are going to get straight into well, I would love to join you, but I'll also believe forgetfulness is part of it as well. And I am chin-strapped and will be a short visit. Hold on, I'll send you a link. I wasn't sure how we were going to do this because we talked about yesterday about canceling our common stream. That's why I'm finishing this up. But hey, y'all, you can help me out here. I just have to figure out how to get it to you real quick because I don't have anything open right now. So. The Book of Faces. And there we go. You are linked. All right, so we're gonna get straight into it. We left off on paragraph 17 of this hella nightmare on page 54 of 145. Hey, Spawn, how are you?
Absolutely knackered. I am chin-strapped. I made the biggest mistake and went to have the shower before the stream, and now I'm like
awake and ready to go. And
no, I am absolutely knackered. So I'm not going to be staying for long. I just thought I'd come on and say, have a good stream and hello everybody. I don't think it'll be seriously. I am too tired now.
That's all right. I just kind of want to get through this too. So we might have to do a part 3 on this because we're only a third of the way through it. And well, we'll see what we get through today. And then we will maybe do it tomorrow. But I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. So woohoo.
Yeah. We'll do it next Wednesday.
Well, this I want to get through because this is a from federal too.
Shit. All right.
This was the Brandy's motion to declare valid service and default judgment to our favorite paint chip.
He's a freaking idiot, him.
Yesterday, we left off going through the motion that he wrote as a pro se defendant in a different case. This is Exhibit 1. However, we are going through this to not only see how he sort of misrepresents himself, in my personal opinion. Feel free to have a different opinion than me. I am all for that. But he represents himself as, treat me like a pro se defendant. I am not an attorney. Yes, you are a disbarred attorney, so you are correct in the fact that you are no longer an attorney. However, you went to law school, you passed law school, you have experience as an attorney. So to represent yourself to a federal judge as a pro se defendant with no legal experience, I feel is very, very misrepresenting himself. Also, there's another thing here. He says, I am not an attorney. I am not an attorney. I'm not an attorney. I call it the lips argument, or the lips loophole, that technically speaking, you're technically right, but it's a misrepresentation of the fact.
Mm-hmm. And also, I mean, in this case, like I said, I'm not going to stay too long tonight.
I said it right. Disingenuous.
Yeah. But the thing is, what Luthmann doesn't realize is that he can be treated as a hostile witness. So therefore, on request to the judge, you get that label slapped on you in court as a hostile witness, regardless if you are the defendant or not. Yeah, your hours are numbered.
And also, we're going through this because there's been some questionable things in federal too about who is writing some of the documents. This is all speculation. None of this is confirmed fact. This is just going through documents, seeing things that make you go, and then everybody, we know everybody has a different writing style. It happens. You read two people writing about the same topic, and then we're going to put different things. It's going to sound different. You can have two people writing an email to Spawn. Spawn and I can write the same email. Say we were emailing Shizzy just about the same topic. And we could write the same email on the same topic, and it sounds completely different. It's kind of the situation of when you post anonymously in a certain Facebook group, and then you post as yourself, and the language is the same, the grammar is the same, the spelling's the same. You can't necessarily confirm, but if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, so
it's definitely a chicken.
I'm also looking at this document that he wrote in a different case as, are there similar things to this that we've seen in other documents? We can dive into that later, but that is something that I am trying to pay attention to as I am going through and reading this. So it all, it's so if you want to see the actual motion that Randy had written, that is in yesterday's stream. We did finish. That's 12 pages. That was an easy read, as always, from Randy. Pretty straightforward. These are all the exhibits that we're going through today. And I just couldn't go through the entire thing yesterday because with all the exhibits, it's 145 pages.
Squid.
Yes.
I'm going to take my leave because I am tired. And the thing is, I know you want to get through this, but I don't think it's fair for me to stay and not be 100% in.
That is all right with me. You got to do what you got to do. And we had talked about yesterday taking today off because, 3D world stuff was taking time.
Yeah, it's been a hard week for me. And now I am the local sheep herding freaking brake line repairing fucking.
Yeah, and we've already heard we don't want to hear Spawn snores. We've heard Vice's snore. Oh my god, that was priceless, and I will never get over that moment.
Do I snore? Do I snore when I sleep?
Not all the time, no.
Not all the time.
Oh, so I do tactical snoring then.
No.
One more reason why I love her.
When we started living together, we did every night, and I wanted to strangle you.
Well, that was nerves because I was laying next to you.
And then you stopped, and now maybe it happens once in a while because if you turn the
it's tactical snoring.
Tactical snoring. Now you told me, so I can kick you when you stop.
Oh, the aggression and violence in this household, madam. Anyway, sorry. Okay, guys, I humbly apologize, Squid. I'm going to take my leave. Guys, please, enjoy yourself, support Squid, and remember, pay it forward. And Squid, you take care. I'm gonna bow out tonight.
I will talk to you again later.
I'll probably tomorrow sometime because I'm going.
Yep. Thanks for popping on and saying hi.
I will. Someone said hi. Squid said hi. Right. Oh my god, my brain. I'm going to bed.
Yep, go to bed.
Good night, everybody. Au revoir.
And if you don't fall asleep, just have Mrs. Spawn hit you with the good old cast iron pan, and you'll be fine.
What is it with you women and violence all the fucking time, using kitchen utensils? Anyway, on that note, salam masalama. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen.
Before you go, Yeety says Spawn snores like a Gatlin pew pew.
How do you know you knew?
Okay. Drive by thumbs up.
Thanks very much for coming in. But on this note, yeet.
Linda, I didn't actually get to watch it myself because I haven't been feeling well and 3D World has been crazy. But I did hear and was told by a few people that somebody didn't show up for a certain court-ordered deposition today. So because of her husband, interestingly enough, being in the hospital or having a procedure or something like that. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right. But we left off at paragraph 17. I even highlighted it, so I kept my same spot. So things to look for. He calls himself not an attorney, wants to be treated like a pro se defendant. However, pro se defendants tend to get more leeway because our legal system is so complicated. They get more leeway on things because they are not knowledgeable. I am not knowledgeable in the legal system as acting as an attorney. I don't have the same education as an attorney. Therefore, pro se defendants are given more leeway in things. But when someone has a law degree, even though they're not a practicing attorney, to say they are not an attorney and disingenuously represent themselves to the court as someone who is ignorant of the law and the legal system, but yet calls themselves a journalist, which is another point that was brought up yesterday, is exactly what is a journalist. Just because you have a microphone, you have a YouTube channel, and you run your mouth like me, does not make you a journalist. I do not consider myself a journalist because, and even though I am not working as an occupational therapy assistant, I still consider myself an occupational therapy assistant because that is my degree, that is my passion, and that is my first love. However, here we go. All right. He notes, and Sharon, you got a really good point. Everyone predicted that LMLP would not show up. She's not aware of this judge. He is not a dumb Thomases. I like that name. I note that administrative procedural reasons do not outweigh the constitutional rights of the press. Matthews v. Eldridge, 1976, procedural due process must be evaluated by using a balancing test that accounts for the interest of the affected individual, the interest of the government in limiting the procedural burdens, and the risk of erroneously curtailing individual interest in the existing procedures, as well as how much additional procedures would help reduce the risk of error. I am a journalist. See, notice how he says it. I am a journalist. What is a journalist? I believe Slug, who graduated from college with a journalism degree. Correct me if I'm wrong, Slug, but I believe that was what your degree is in. I'm sorry if I forgot. Did a whole video series on what is a journalist. And I don't consider myself a journalist. There are many other YouTubers who do not consider themselves journalists, even though they report on stuff, because I've had this conversation with a few of them. What actually is a journalist, and what makes you think that you are a journalist? Which is of primary significance. Understanding the personal injury to me, while cognizable, is immaterial to the more significant issues of the federal court are bound to entertain in our constitutional structure. For mere torts, the door of the state courts are open to me, and I would not waste the court's time with trivialities. This is written like someone who wants to be a journalist, but is a lawyer at heart. Not practicing. However, once a lawyer and you have that degree, my professors called it the OT brain. I can't imagine that it's much different for someone with a law degree, even though you aren't a practicing lawyer. When you evaluate a certain thing, when I look at someone and my first thing goes to movement, how are they sitting? How are they, what is wrong with them? In the OT world, like when someone walks, I look at their gait. Weirdly enough, I can't imagine it's much different for other people with other degrees, especially a legal degree. You see everything through the lens of your education. It's kind of how you were trained. So for him to call himself a journalist, when this is, I'm not going to lie, I think this is a very well-written document. So even though he might be a shady person when it comes to ethics and the actual law, I think he might have been a good student and actually a good lawyer when in a courtroom. Playing devil's advocate. I don't have to like someone's personality to appreciate when something is well written. And even though I feel he misrepresented himself in this document, it's well written. It's easy to read. He's a jokelist. Oh, I haven't heard that in a while. Yeah. I suppose in his mind, being a mouthpiece with an agenda to delegitimize and defame people is journalism. I have no idea. However, it's a situation that makes you just, I don't know. Like, I feel like he was probably the type of person who got decent grades in school. Personality notwithstanding, he can write. I'll give him that much. Factual determination that I am a journalist is necessary to properly evaluate the constitutional and fundamental issues before the court. The magistrate judge's order never made this determination. The injury here is to the free press and the institutional integrity of the federal courts. It can be stated no more succinctly than this. I always screw up this name, but this is Dinesh. Y'all know the Dinesh lawsuit. This is from that. Served me with a subpoena. He did so because I am a member of the press, and I am covering him unfavorably in his opinion. Dinesh's actions are chilling as against the press. Not only me, but any and every reporter has to worry about this, that this court will sanction Dinesh's use of the laws as a weapon against coverage that Dinesh disapproves of. In America, no man is king. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, and I usually don't try to put politics in this shit, but like this also screams I'm a flaming liberal. Sorry. Hate to I hate to go there, but like some of the wording that's used in this just screams that I'm using my emotion before my brain. Yes. Yeah. His writings are embellished and full of false information on Substack. I've never looked at his Substack. I have a Substack account. I found that a lot of people use ChatGPT or Grok to write their articles on Substack. Therefore, I don't actually, I don't know. Substack to me is like Medium, and Laura Owens considers herself a journalist on Medium. So like Substack's not any better in my opinion. Personally, we kneel to God and God alone. Once again, doesn't know the meaning of any of this and is just putting it to make it seem like he's a better person than he is. Like, yeah, I try not to. I really do. But like the way this is written is like this is false representation right here. Like this is not a this right here is screams of like, especially after the last 3 weeks, this phrase right here just disingenuous to the max, in my opinion. I will not sanction the courts for turning a blind eye while Dinesh uses a bad faith legal process to make the press kneel before him, nor should this honorable court. And honestly, half the time, half the things that I've seen from Dinesh that I don't agree with. However, it's his personal right to, if he wants to sue you for something, he can sue you and then let the court decide. The fact that there's 300 and some odd documents in this case says a lot. Dinesh and his attorney, Mr. Chiappetta, designed that I was served with the bad faith subpoena inside Magistrate Judge Dudek's courtroom seconds after the magistrate judge left the bench. U.S. Court Security Officer Pena sanctioned the service of the subpoena. The U.S. District Courtroom and Courthouse in Fort Myers, Florida, is no longer a place of justice. This screams the freaking Hannah Dugan. Yeah. Instead, it is a playground, a back alley where anything can happen. I do not feel safe covering this story as a member of the press in that building with Dinesh as a litigant. And it's not because of Dinesh's dangerousness per se. Pot, meat, kettle. I would have no problem covering court proceedings related to an organized crime or members of La Cosa Nostra. Good luck with that one. The dangerousness comes from the fact that the courts offer no protection or consequences for the actions of Dinesh and his counsel. As a result, I cannot effectively cover this case and the legal and factual issues involved and how I would like to be present at the courthouse and observe. My worst fears were confirmed on January 24th. According to several protected sources, an individual in a suit was lying in wait in the federal court with 2 copies of a confidential document with a blue cover page and my name on it. The man was sitting outside Magistrate Judge Dudek's courtroom for portions of the day. Then he came and sat in the courtroom's gallery behind Mr. Chiappetta. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but whatever. Later in the afternoon session, I believe Dinesh employed the man in the suit and he was lying in wait for me in the courtroom. I don't know if this is yet another bad faith subpoena or some other similar abuse process. It is not beyond Dinesh or his counsel to purvey dishonesty to local law enforcement, to obtain a baseless order of protection whose only purpose is to further chill press coverage. So many arguments. Right, this right here. This right here. Hey, Magic Angel. Like, hey, Sweet Lurker, thanks for the comment. But this. And Kasha, I know she did. I got a couple emails about it. It's Squid needs to change her mouse cursor. I thought that was a bug crawling on my screen for a minute. What? It's just the arrow. I have to keep it moving, otherwise my headache. So I thought it was Chipolata. All I want to say is Chicoletta from Paw Patrol, which tells you how my days generally go. Yeah, it's revolting to me to see people use urgent medical situation as an excuse. Some of us actually have urgent medical issues to deal with. Yeah, I get it. I have thoughts, but it's just one of those situations where, like, certain things just make things go. Like, when people actually have frequent medical issues, like, I forgot to take my migraine medication for 1 day last night. So this headache that I have is all my own fault. Not to mention the fact that I need to wear my glasses and I'm not. So there's that. However, it's consequences of actions. And I see people trying to play victim, which discredits everybody who actually has issues. When someone is like, oh, I'm sick, or oh, I'm this, or oh, we have an urgent medical issue. It also is the playing wolf, or the boy who cried wolf. When people say, well, I have this, and I have this, and I have this, and they really don't. And then suddenly they do. No one's going to believe them when they actually have an issue, because no one knows if you're telling the truth or not. Too many. Yeah. I'm not even going to read that comment. It's not that I disagree with you, but, like, I'm also the type of person where I knew what issues that Stark had. And I knew that the issues that Stark had. When I worked on a cardiac floor that worked post-catheterization, a lot of CHF, we had frequent flyers. People who did not take care of themselves well on the outside, so to speak, and came in at least once a month. You got to know people without, oh, this person's on my, on my patient list today. I know them. I've seen them 10 times in the last 3 months. They are a frequent flyer. I know all their issues. I know generally why they're here without looking at their chart. So for him to always say, I have a medical, yes, it was convenient timing, but like those people are in the hospital every 3 to 6 weeks when they don't take care of themselves. They gain weight, they gain all the water weight, which makes it hard to breathe. Then they go in, get put on diuretics, get put on medication regimen, get taken care of for a few days, start to feel better, go home and start doing the same shit they did before. And the cycle repeats until you are no longer with us. And that's where he found himself. So it's, yeah, I do too. Yeah, which is interesting to me. And it's like in some ways, it's like, is it a change? You changed up the lie to make it more believable? But I've also heard a couple of things from different people that it was a scheduled medical procedure. Well, here's the thing. If you have a scheduled procedure, you should go to the court and say, my significant other has a procedure that day. I am his power of attorney, or I am his next of kin. I need to be the one to pick him up, drop him off. Kind of like I did with Mr. Squid. So for her to, I don't know. Well, I have to get more details on it, but it just, something seems hinky. But who knows? Maybe John Cook will show up in this chat and then we can ask him. Wishful thinking, right? I detail a solution before. First Amendment protectors. Not only is this legally and constitutionally wrong, but it is also dangerous. It is dangerous in the academic sense because it invokes extrajudicial remedies consonant with natural law cited by Blackstone and Locke, which are fundamentals of the Constitution that ought to be wielded in defense of the free press. I believe Locke was 1607, if I'm remembering my legal history correctly. Oh, speak of the devil. I don't know. If this really is John, because the timing is just too specific. If you did, I don't think you did, because if they did, they would have changed the date. But so, but that's just me. Because anytime I've had to do anything like that, when I've notified somebody in advance, the dates have changed. Appointment mean it would be planned, yes. And y'all, whether that is John Cook or not, and whether you absolutely hate him or he is your bestie, don't, and this goes for John too, and he knows because he's been here before. Don't disrespect, don't address, like, if you got something to say to him, just leave it for a different chat. Because if that really is John and I ask him questions, he's not going to answer my questions if people come in here and be an ass. And I'm like, is he my favorite person? Absolutely not. But treat people how you want to be treated. And my mods know to start eating people because I love the chat, but like I said in a couple of streams ago, some of y'all are getting a little too out of pocket for my liking in my chat. This is the place for respect, mutual respect. You don't have to like someone to show respect. So just a little FYI before, you know, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. It's the way my mom taught me. Or treat people like you want to be treated. You don't have to like someone, and the only way you're ever going to get respect or get someone to talk to you and give you answers for things is if you're not a dick. So the paperwork was dropped off at the court yesterday, and I'm coming home right now with the paperwork from the doctor. What procedure did you have? If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to share if you don't want to, but I'm curious. Genuinely curious, because I want to know how, because certain procedures are scheduled out at least 2 weeks. So dropping off court paperwork yesterday seems very lazy to me, but that's just my experience with things. But remember, John, I did work at a hospital for 6 years, so I've seen and heard a lot. I've seen and heard a lot of medical bullshit, if you know what I mean. Like, I've heard people are like, yeah, I'm taking my medications, all of them, all the time. And then it'll be like, well, why is your blood pressure 180 over 120? It's like, no, you're about to have a heart attack. You're about to have a stroke. Like, you obviously aren't taking your medications. Let's see. No enactment of man can be considered law unless it conforms to the law of God. I have a really hard time with someone who I do not believe is a Christian or has anything. It is a non-godly person and probably makes fun of Christians, mentioning God in a legal document just seems a little disingenuous to me. I don't know. You want those?
No.
Hey, Angel, I don't have anything for you. There's nothing in here. Sorry. No. Angel. What? You want this?
No.
I don't have anything for you. The tape is not in here. You cannot have any tape. Because you know how to rip painter's tape. Yes, my 3-year-old knows how to rip painter's tape. So if there's any questions on the blue tape conspiracy from a few weeks ago, my 3-year-old can rip painter's tape. Oh. Was that double shoulder injections that was scheduled 2 months out? Then one question, just honest question. If it was scheduled 2 months out, taking you at your word, why, when you found out that someone had a deposition October 1st, did you not give the paperwork then? Why did you wait till the last minute? That seems very shady to me. That's what I don't understand. So that's what I don't understand. But yeah. Oh, sarcastic bronchoscopy is October 22nd. I have a CT and PET scan first. At least my pulmonologist is excellent. I get her to run the clinker. Fun times. Fun times. Oh, no. Sorry, I have to return a text. All right. Getting back to, but Squidlet isn't in front of anything either. Yeah, almost to a fault. There's another question I have, but y'all, it's not, maybe it's a Southern thing. I don't know. However, I'm not married, and sometimes I refer to Mr. Squid as Hubs. It's just easier than saying my fiance or whatever, or spouse, or just whatever. It rolls off the tongue better. Also, my in-laws have been divorced for a decade or more, and they still live together, and she still wears her wedding ring. make this shit make sense. I don't know. So any responsible person gets a ride to the appointment and sends the depot person to court arranged to be normal. My laws here. I don't know. There's things that just don't make any sense to me as like just but I'm a planner. So like I'm the type of person who gets stuff. Like when I get it, I immediately start making phone calls. I don't wait till the last minute. So I don't know if that's just me or if that's, yeah. Hey, Lady Jen, I'm not married, but I call my boyfriend my husband all the time. Yeah, it's one of them situations. So I don't, for that, it's like, I don't know. I don't judge anybody for that because that shit happens all the time. And sometimes it's just easier. It's just easier. I don't know. But this right here, none of it adds up. My hubby had both shoulders done and didn't need a ride. And there's things that just don't make any sense to me working in a hospital and just the process of things. And that was my doorbell. I need to make sure that my child didn't get outside and see who's at my door. So I'm going to play my I will be right back. I'm going to play in a little intermission video and see who's at my door.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to.
All right, thanks for your patience. It was a order that was delayed from yesterday and all of a sudden showed up with no like email that said your delivery is on its way. I don't know. People are weird. I don't get it. Okay, I'm gonna make my invisible penguins to the corner listen because it's back to work. Wave as you're driving by. I'll like, go on my roof and like wave as you drive by the highway. So if you're passing my way, please, somebody please hand this evidence over to Social Security fraud investigators. Please, please, please. I tended to wonder about the Social Security number thing. I have no proof. This is all speculation. But like I just wonder if there's been more than one Social Security number. I don't know. I have questions. I have a lot of questions that I will never get answers to or documentation to. Because some of the documentation that I want answers to is none of my business per se. But doesn't make me any less interested. All right. Getting back to this shit show of a document. I think this is well written. I just think the contents of this is bullshit. Just and for those of you who are just joining us, this was written by Luthmann in a different case, the Dinesh, whatever his last name is, case. Noshirvan. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. That's why you should see me skip it and say Dinesh. I just have issues. But I did grab an energy drink to see if I can zap this migraine away. What I really need to do is wear my glasses, and I just hate them. Hate them. They're ugly. For where there is no judicature on earth to decide controversies amongst men, God in heaven is judge. He alone, 'tis true, is judge of the right, but every man is judge for himself, is as in all other cases, so in this. But all this entire underpinnings of our constitutional structure has been unmoored, or has become unmoored, when we allow Dinesh, if you consider yourself a journalist, you might want to you might want to use some proper punctuation. A man who has previously doxed justices of the U.S. Supreme Court, providing their home addresses, places of worship, and children's schools to his millions of followers because of the Dobbs opinion. A sentence in here that, if it's true, I agree with putting this in there. However, this is Luthmann who's writing this. Pot, meet, kettle. Pot, meet, kettle. No, he was right here. Big Al, I twisted my knee last night about 7:30. He's still here. I just didn't acknowledge it because I was in the middle of a sentence. I saw it though. That's the thing. Like, I call Mr. Squid Hubs sometimes, or the hubby, or However, I don't yell or tell people, he's not my husband, he's not my this, he's not my that. Like, John, y'all just, you have an interesting relationship that is fascinating from a psychological standpoint. It's like the syndrome, Stockholm syndrome kind of a situation. Yeah. All right. Hey, Turtle Hurdle, thanks for being a member for 10 months. It's been that long. Listening on the drive home. Oh. Yeah, but I don't claim it legally. Yeah. But, like, for all intensive purposes. But I also don't say that, I hate him, or he's this, or call him names, or, things like that. It's just it's just a weird dynamic that I, once again, can't wrap my head around. He did this because the court's reasoning was like Luthmann's press coverage, something Dinesh did not like. I firmly believe that Dinesh's actions against the U.S. Supreme Court justices were knowingly dangerous threats within the meaning of 18 U.S. Code 115 and other sections of applicable law. Chief Justice Roberts made the dangers of doxing crystal clear on page 7 of the 2024 year-end report on the federal judiciary. Ooh, I'm actually going to have to... which one do that? Here we go. I actually clicked on that link and opened it so I can read that later. To date, no action has been taken against Dinesh, but I have taken the liberty of sending a copy of this submission and related materials to the newly installed 87th Attorney General of the United States, the Honorable Pamela Jo Bondi. Yeah, good luck with that. She's about as useful as the gum on the bottom of my shoe. A great American and Floridian. For the new non-woke Department of Justice consideration. This is the way this is written is just bizarre. Footnote 1. I've also copied the President of the United States because I firmly believe that with Dinesh and other woke sickos who mutilate children and or Israel-hating Iranian anchor babies like him in prison, whether on U.S. soil or Gitmo, we will make America great again. I don't believe... Okay, 1, this is not the place to put politics in. Remember how I said this was going to turn political and I didn't want to bring politics into this? And a couple of you asked me not to. Lynn, he did it. He did it. He brought... Yeah, for the liberal call out. Now it's true. Which one is one of the reasons when you flip scripts, I don't believe, like, you know, like I'm open to anything in the sense of just show me the facts, and like I don't care what side of the aisle it falls on or where in the grand spectrum. I just want to be, as far as government goes, leave me the hell alone. However, it I just this is just bizarre. This is just bizarre. Okay, footnote. These materials also included Dinesh's apparent violations of 18 U.S. Code 2-1343, 2257, 2257A, 2261A, 22 U.S. Code 611, 28, CFR 5.1, other applicable laws and regulations, in addition to his apparent grooming of children and his own children for their this is I just have a hard time reading stuff like this. Even if it's not true, true or not, like the fact that this is what he is accusing somebody else of doing just is sick to me. Like, you ever look at stuff and you're just like, I just can't. Like, I just can't. And hey, Gary. And thank you, Harry, for the 1 gifted Squid Pro Quo membership. That went to Donna Ditson. I appreciate you guys so much. And to everybody who is green for these upcoming, and I have a timeline to do it. It's just getting started. That is, I know I have ideas. It's just actually doing the like filming that is hard for me. But I'm working on it. But those are going to be members only videos for at least 3 weeks-ish before they get released to everybody else. For feedback and editing purposes, y'all are my guinea pigs. Congratulations. Like congratulations. Like you know, yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, here's the thing about that. I don't think they're truly going to care because Lisa is one of the only people that I will personally attack on a first name basis. I will call her out for bullshit and I will go after her because of the fact that you talked about my kid and laughed about my kid choking on an Apple Pencil. So there are 2 people in this world. Usually I do not do personal attacks. That's why even you'll hear me call him Luthmann. Every once in a while a paint chip slip in. But like for the most part, I call people by their names. Lips, I was even calling her by her real name until I found out that her like channel is legally Lips. Then I'm like, okay, you call yourself that, I'm calling you that. However, I will not go through personal attacks, generally speaking. However, 2 people attacked my kid. The people who went after my child and laughed about my child choking will be on my shit, and I don't give a fuck about you or anything you say. And will personally attack you, your looks, your attitude, your grammar, anything like that. I will make personal attacks against 2 specific people that talked about my kid. So, you know, if you hear me making personal attacks, I apologize, but it's only against 2 people, because once you go after my kid, you are on my shit list for life. There are some in real life people that made comments about my kid, and they are on my shit list for life, and I don't even fucking know them. So, I made a comment in front of somebody one time. This is how you think I'm the kind of, I have this attitude on YouTube. I have this attitude in real life too. Sidebar. I told my child in front of somebody, stranger danger, and it's not always because people are going to harm you. It's because mommy doesn't like those people. And I said it in front of this person's face. That is my personality. Because she talked about my kid, and then you don't talk about my kid and then be nice to me and my kid in front of me. No, we talk stranger danger, because it's not that mommy thinks that these people are going to harm you. It's mommy doesn't like some people, and I don't want you talking and making friends with people that mommy doesn't like. And I said this in front of somebody. So if you think I have that kind of personality where I say it like it is online, I am like this all the time. You can ask Mama and Papa Squid when they're in the chat. It's almost to a fault, to the point where my parents still have to be like, yo, calm yourself down. You're up here, bring that shit down here. So I'm not on Squid shit list, but I'm up there. You are not. You've helped me out on so many occasions with things that I will forever be grateful to you for certain things that you have done. So, yeah, the mama bear came out when it came to BBB. Like BBB, I had said, if you talk about my kid anymore, or you threaten to call CPS on me, or mentioned my name in CPS in the same breath, I'm going to file a police report. Well, I actually did. So I have a paper trail. I don't think anything's going to happen, and I don't think anything's going to be done about it, and it hasn't happened since. Everybody has calmed the F down when it comes to talking about my kid. However, I have a paper trail going back to, I want to say that was last year. I have to look in my email. Speak of the devil. She's right. Yeah, my parents are still like, I am 40 years old, and my parents are still like, you need to calm your shit. It is not that serious. Yeah, that's fine. Magic Angel, you know that that's fine. You know that that's fine. However, it's the, apparently Bruce thinks you can choke on an Apple Pencil. Bruce must have the gag reflex of a corn star if you think you can choke on an Apple Pencil. Like, I'm just saying. Just saying. All right. This, getting back to this right here, my personal opinion will come out on this, and I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but everybody has the right to their opinion, and I have the right to mine. This and this need never be in the same sentence. Whatever you want to do, you want to identify as a cat and have like whiskers permanently installed on your face as an adult. I don't care. You do you, boo-boo. Doesn't affect me. However, this and this need never be in the same sentence. Because if my parents, no, I did a video on her condition, not her. And John, I did that as to both sides talking about something that they know nothing about. I did it from a medical perspective, not a personal attack. Because people I was getting sick of both sides going, well, she's this. Well, I'm sick of her not being potty. How do you know? Like, until I've seen documents, I don't know. And that condition can be everybody from I take a supplement per day and I'm fine to a 10-year-old who had a stroke. There's such a wide variety in there that I don't judge I explained facts and we looked at studies on the actual condition, not judging the person. It was to stop both sides from going, she's this, or the other side going, she's not potty trained, she's not this, she's not this. I got pissed at people in the chat. If you actually go back and watch that stream, I had to restart it because I got so pissed at people taking one side or the other. It was not. It was meant to be an educational stream on the condition itself and how it can be totally fine for one person and totally not fine for the other. So the fact that you took it badly and thought that I was attacking your child, I apologize, but I think there's a misunderstanding there. Either that or you didn't watch it. Yes, Squiddy did a stream on the child's condition, not the child. And it was because I was sick of both sides. Because if you notice, I get sick of both sides on here. I was, before Bruce talked about my kid, I was in the camp of everybody sucks. And I have no opinions one way or the other. But talking about the child's condition without actually being a doctor, a nurse, a therapist, a speech language pathologist, I get very pissed when people do that, when they make assumptions. I did the same thing with Stark. When people were talking about he's going into the hospital, he has DHF. Some people are frequent flyers. Those people are in the hospital once a month. I'm a very analytical in the science. I showed, I'm not apologizing. I am apologizing in the fact that if someone told you that that's what that stream was about and you didn't actually watch it for yourself, I feel sorry for you. Because, copying the president on your email could get the attention of the Secret Service at least. Yeah. That's a good point. Yes. Yeah, this right here. This is what I have a problem with on that side. On the other side, it was, she says it's life-threatening. Well, we don't have documentation until someone has showed me documentation that she has this or she has this or she has this. Like, it's all speculation. So don't speculate on a condition you know nothing about. For one kid, it's fine. I've seen in the research that I've done, I've seen one kid who takes a supplement every day and is fine. And I've also seen a family, and in that video I show the family whose one kid passed away at 17 from this condition, and another one who is like 14 who had a stroke and now has severe right side limitations because of the fact that she had a stroke despite her family's best efforts at controlling it. So there's a wide spectrum in every medical condition, and anything can be life-threatening for any particular person at one time. Headaches, for most people, not a big thing. My headaches were life-threatening. Interesting how that happens. Yeah, I do. I did the one to quell both sides of the conversation because I was very sick of people talking about a medical condition that they had no problems with, that they had no interaction with. At the risk of triggering further wrath, calm down. Yeah, right here. Health issues are on a spectrum, and unless John and Lynette have literally showed you the paperwork, you don't actually know a damn thing. And it's all speculation. That 14-year-old was now in a diaper because she could not control her bladder after the stroke. Cognitive issues are a thing. And guess what? When you have cognitive issues, the ABA clinic that I help, I'm a janitor. I clean the place, but like I have seen what they have to do when they've said, hey, by the way, don't move any of this stuff. We're trying to potty train a child. This child is you would think would be of a potty training age. where they're already potty trained. But guess what? They have medical issues where they're not. So just everybody did, whether they like to admit it or not. When the fleas did when it came to like raising money that they never actually got, which is one of the other issues that I have. But side note, they are talking about using her. They put her face on a freaking website. Like, that is one thing I've never done. Anybody who's shown the child's face, I no longer associate with. That is not, I don't even use her name. And in that stream, I did not use her name because it's not about her. It's about the condition and being knowledgeable before you open your mouth and start talking. So, you know. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Me too. I'm not opposed to that. Like, we need a Valium. Jeffrey, thanks for the $2 super chat. We need a Valium fund. If so, starting it. No, we need a Fiora fund. But thanks for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. So I do apologize if you took offense to that, but it was not aimed at your child. It was aimed at the greater weight of stop commenting on shit you have no idea about. I text Siren, I'm coming from a spot of experience. My daughter wasn't fully trained till she was 5 or older, and she has Down syndrome, is very behind. She didn't walk till she was 3. Yeah, and I'm a thing of like, there's a reason that they make 5T training pants. It just happens. Yeah, when they're cognitively delayed, it's hard. And I don't know if she's cognitively delayed. I have not seen any evidence, and I will also never go, but don't judge unless you have the evidence. And if we have no evidence, either way, like, I have not seen any paperwork. And you know what? That's why I say don't judge if you don't know. Because I was gaslit. John, I know you don't know me very well, but I was gaslit by doctors for years, with even my own damn coworkers at the hospital saying, well, you look fine. You should be able to do this, or you look this, and you look, you look fine. I needed brain surgery. So whether I looked fine or not doesn't mean that I was fine. So I was gaslit by a bunch of people for years. So I take very, very big offense to people commenting on medical situations that they don't know anything about. So Michelle's friend in one of our groups had just lost a 7-year-old to GA1. People have no clue what condition she has with this, nor will ever tell people. Do you know why? Because it's none of your business. Exactly. But if you go back and watch my stream, I will tag it in the description of this video for you after it's done. I talk about the condition. We look at studies, we look at videos, and I even showed a video of someone who was fine and someone who was not fine. Like, that, showing that there's a wide variety of stuff, and we don't judge if we don't know. And it's none of my business. Once again, if you ever wanted to send me stuff, that's fine, but I'm not asking. Like, it's y'all's business. But I just wanted to do that stream because I was sick of, she's not potty trained. She's not this. She's not this. And then she's sick. She's this, but not them people not actually knowing either. It's so, there was such a variety aside. And that's true, but that was not what my stream was about. And my stream never actually mentioned the child's name either, because I don't know. Yeah. Hidden health issues are tough to get treatment for and to explain. Yeah. And a lot of things like neuro conditions, spinal conditions, like neuropathies, GI issues, because someone looks fine, but they have Crohn's disease. Like, someone could look fine, just because it's not a broken leg and you can't see it doesn't mean everybody's good, So there's oh yeah, and this right here. I think that this whole CPS in every state needs to be looked at because there's so many, like, that's a more of a Megan area because that's her expertise. And I know over the years it's taken a lot of mental toll on her because it's hard to talk about, but like redoing the CPS system in every state, like if I were running for office, not going to, that would be one of my major focuses because shady as shit. Guardian ad litem in the state of Wisconsin, shady as fuck. Shady as fuck. And Kasha, thanks for the $5 super chat. Caffeine fun for Squid after this live. So I forgot to cancel some of my my subscribe and save orders for Celsius because I have a few and like I choose different flavors based on, you know, what I'm feeling that month or the price because they fluctuate. So I usually go with the cheapest. Well, I forgot to cancel them. So Mom, if you're still watching, I have your 12-pack of Celsius for the month. However, I have 7 12-packs of Celsius. 7. I am caffeine overloaded, but I appreciate the $5. I appreciate it. Starting August or October, holy crap, with a good super chat. We can't have it both ways. They use the child's illness, but then scream it's none of our business. And I agree it's none of our business. That's one of the reasons that I don't really bring it up. I did that, and I had to actually stop that live stream. That would have been one that I should have done on a video had I known how. I had to actually stop that live stream, calm myself down, and put rules on the chat because I was done with the chat. I was done with even some of the people that are here today and that I really love. I was getting frustrated with some of my OGs. I was still like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, over and over again. So it's yes, squirrel. It'll last me the month. All right. Dinesh seeks to continue to do the press and the court's injury when they do things he disagrees with. The threat posed by Dinesh against a free press, all journalists and reporters who would cover this case to not coattail to Dinesh's talking points and cannot be sanctioned by this court through abusive process. It chills free speech and the free press. No law means no law. I mean, yeah. I bring to the court's attention to the legal doctrine of capable and repetitive yet evading review. One issue with this document is in the beginning, he tried to say that I'm a pro se defendant. Does this look like it's written by a pro se defendant? Like, let's be honest here. Does this look like it is written by a pro se defendant? Hell to the no. I sure as shit know that if I had to write a document for any legal case, it would not look like this. So you can't, have it one way and then show the judge that you are not telling the whole truth. To be honest, it looks like it's written by a sovereign citizen. Yeah. Judging by Lynette's initial filings, yes. Well, you know. I don't know. In the context of standing and justiciability, this doctrine recently upheld in Kingdomware Tex v. United States 2016 underscores the need to adjudicate disputes that are likely to recur but avoid judicial scrutiny due to procedural loopholes. All the world can reasonably expect Dinesh and his lawyer to reserve the bad faith subpoena on me as a journalist. It was announced in the magistrate's order at footnote 3 as it was considered relief of the four corners of that order. Dinesh withdrew the subpoena because of a clerical error with regards to the place of compliance. Yet he now asked the court to modify the subpoena and order Luthmann to produce requested documents. This request is procedurally inadequate because it comes as a response brief. It is improper to seek affirmative relief in a response brief. Partners Insight LLC v. Gill, Middle District of Florida, 2023. This requirement isn't a mere administrative exercise. It ensures all parties, and crucially the court, are aware of such requests and able to respond in full. Regardless, the court declines to belatedly correct Dinesh's mistake, given Luthmann has been told he need not comply with the subpoena. All the world can reasonably expect Dinesh and his lawyer to serve a bad faith subpoena on any journalist who issues coverage Dinesh does not like. Everyone knows Dinesh is not using the subpoena to obtain evidence. Otherwise, he would return to the defendant and order other third parties to seek information. He is using abusive legal processes to try to shut down press coverage. Dinesh can't help himself. He will never magically stop doxing innocent people, pot meat kettle, including public servants, bullying, defaming, and criminally threatening those who oppose them. Oh shit. Does anybody think that this right here, not saying that I know everything, but I hear bits and pieces of stuff. This right here, bullying, defaming, and criminally threatening those who oppose them. Pot meat kettle, bro. Pot meat kettle. Like, the fact that you wrote this with a straight fucking face, pot meat kettle. All I gotta say. And compromising American institutions like the federal judiciary and the Fourth Estate. By failing to entertain a protective order in the face of the reasonably foreseeable harm that Dinesh poses as a litigant using the court's subpoena powers to harass, the court sanctions Dinesh's assault of the press. It also tactically sanctions the doxing of the federal judiciary, including the justices of the Supreme Court. Pop may meet kettle, but does he know what he's talking about? And he has a lot of experience in it, doesn't he? Yeah. I'm sure I don't know everything. I am 100% positive because I try to pay attention to that aspect. Like, I listen to like Spawn Trooper, and I listen to a couple other people, and I've watched and I pay attention to all Rosalind's stuff. But like, as a general rule, I don't have time to watch everybody. Like Megan and Tug, don't watch them. They start streaming at the time when it's bedtime routine for the little. If I could watch, I can't pay attention. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like, I don't have time. And I'm horrible at Replay Crew. So I appreciate everybody who watches streams on Replay Crew, because if I can't participate in chat or at least pay attention to chat, I get ADHD and I start spacey. So I'm bad at Replay Crew. I'm bad at Replay Crew. Really am. So I appreciate everybody on Replay Crew all the time. It's just some of the things that I know that have been done makes him putting certain things in here, like bullying, defaming, and criminally threatening those who oppose them. Did you look in the mirror when you were writing this? Because don't threaten. This is why you don't talk shit about people on the internet. Like, it's an illegal document. I'm talking about the legal document in regards to, but I'm not just making personal attacks for the sake of making personal attacks, because I don't believe in that. The expert said it great on his stream months ago. If you talk shit about someone in person, generally you get punched in the face. We don't excuse violence, but that's generally what happens. If you're in a bar and you talk shit, someone's gonna punch you. or they're going to ask you to go in the parking lot, if you know what I mean. Not like I have any experience with that at all. If I ever get my dad on to come on for a podcast, we can share our bar fight story. I got in a bar fight defending my dad because my dad wouldn't talk shit back, and I did, and yeah, ended up beating the crap out of a drunk. Whoops, not on purpose. That's the closest I ever got to being arrested. Paperwork, Tug and Megan do better alone. Everybody does. Everybody does. It's not a Tug and Megan thing, because when Spawn is here and My Pretty is here, that's why we talk about past documents generally when they're here, because we're not going to a specific thing. We're trying to get through something. Because we end up talking about, well, what this happened and this happened. That's why we compare documents generally on those streams. Because trying to get through documents when you're talking to friends and you're just having a conversation with people is really hard. So it was not when I was in the Navy. It was 10 years after. I think I was in college. So yeah, nothing like a good old parking lot discussion. It wasn't even a parking lot, but no, my dad didn't take a hit for me. Sidebar. The bar was set up like this. Bar here, chairs here, chairs here, chairs here. One person is sitting here. My dad is sitting here. I'm sitting here, listening to the two of them argue, telling them both to shut the fuck up. No, I don't discriminate. I was telling my dad not to talk back. Dude called my dad the a gay slur that starts with F. My dad is not gay, obviously. If he was, I wouldn't care, but my dad is not gay. Walked over to the person who called my dad a slur, started talking to him. He got in my face. I took 3 fingers to his chest, and he went flying off the back of the bar stool. Whoops. He got up, tried to hit me, so I put his ass in a headlock, and he didn't pass out, but I ended up with a fingerprint or a handprint bruise on my arm where he was trying to get out. And at that time, I was in jiu-jitsu, so like, I went straight for the rear naked choke and just cranked down my elbow into his back, and it was just like, yep, I'm gonna put you to sleep. So, you know. So, and John, I don't think you're trapped by any means, but like, something just seems like codependent there, and I just don't get it. Like, Mr. Squid is proud of you. I bet he's grinning ear to ear. That was my dad. So Mr. Squid wasn't even there. He lived in a different state at the time. So, yeah. But yeah, that's my bar fight story. That's one of them. I'm a mean drunk, which is why I don't drink. I know how I am, which is one of the reasons that I don't drink. But getting back to this, somebody clip that. If you can't see anything, it becomes nap time. I don't start things, but like I asked him to stop talking. I asked them both to stop talking pretty violently at that, yelling at both of them. Walked over to the other guy. I intended on telling him, getting in his face and telling him to shut the fuck up. Well, when he came at me and started like, acting like he was something special, if you know what I mean. My 3 fingers, apparently, compared to his blood alcohol level, did not compute. So, yeah. John Cook, serious question. How long were you down after knee replacement? I have to get both mine replaced. oh, fancy darling, you gonna get them replaced at the same time? That could either that could go either way. Could go either. Dylan, who are you going to, man? What was your first one? Because I wasn't John, my background's in occupational therapy, so like when you mention like medical stuff for knee replacements, I'm like, my brain goes OT mode. And I've never even seen anybody have 6 revisions. So Dinesh can't help himself. He will never magically stop doxing innocent people. Okay. By failing to entertain a protective order in the face of a reasonably foreseeable harm that Dinesh poses as a litigant using the court's subpoena powers to harass, the court sanctions Dinesh's assault of the press. It also tactically sanctions the doxing of the federal judiciary, including justices of the Supreme Court. Knowing full well these facts, the court should either 1, see this matter as justiciable, or 2, declare the U.S. courts impotent to protect the free press from doxers and bad faith litigants within the confines of the Constitution, and allows journalists the right to proceed with extrajudicial remedies against interlopers like Dinesh. And here's the thing, though. As much as doxing is an awful thing, and I don't agree with it whatsoever, and I've tried my damnedest to wait, it was a he. I would never show my face again if I lost a fight to a girl. Yeah, well, you know. He was old. He was a tad bit older than me. I would say I was like 25, 26. He was probably like 50. So, but he was also taller than me and heavier than me at the time. So, you know. Yeah. No, never get both knees at the same time. I do know people who have, and it's worked. And I've also known people who have, and it's been like the worst thing that possibly could ever happen in their lives. And they are like the most whiny people because nothing feels good at all. And it's like, well, you chose to get both at the same time. So, you know. Yeah, it takes months to get your knee strong enough, and it goes with the thing, no pain, no gain. Respect your pain, though. But John Cook, I agree with you. In this case, I have knee pain sometimes, but I call it fat people knee. My ass is too big to support my weak little knees. So, you know. Oh, did you see my post last night? It's good. Saw the new. Yes. Did you get her? 3 awesome dogs is now 4 awesome dogs. So, my carpal tunnel resurgery is October 14th. In and out procedure 8 days later is the bronchoscopy. My husband will be doing everything for me. I'm glad I have a bidet. Yeah, also email me if you need help with things, because, you know, being OT, I have the knowledge on all things adaptive equipment, specifically for the bathroom. Going to college for OT, if they would have told me, I would have been in if they would have told me that I would be spending most of my life in a hospital or in a bathroom with people, I might have rethought my career. But, you know, got to return a text message. Mama Squid just got in a car accident. She's fine. Somebody backed into her car. Cool. But she's fine. She's fine. I'm going to mute and make a phone call real quick. She's good. The car is drivable. All that I cared about. So, yeah. Hose picker. Oh, all right. Putting interloper in a document is quite interesting. Legal memorandum supporting the request. There's an exception to the mootness doctrine. It's just, he keeps going. But looking at this, he refers to himself as a journalist, but also this is not written by a journalist, obviously. This is written with someone who has significant legal experience. So in order to get these documents separate, all these documents together, 145 pages, do not fit on Discord. I don't have the Discord or extreme thing, or whatever they're calling it these days, or the paid Discord where you can download or upload documents of a certain size. If I can get these documents separate, I have to repay for them. I will post them in the Discord. Or actually, somebody already did. Never mind. Somebody already did. However, look at this and then compare the writings in this to other people's stuff. Because it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So here's another Luthmann's motion under FRCP Rule 60B for reconsideration of the August 18th opinion and order. Just what he writes, this first paragraph is all we're going to read through this, because I can only read so much of his writing before I'm like, look. Richard Luthmann, a non-party investigative journalist, moves under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 60B for relief for this court's opinion and order dated to August 18th. Which overruled his objections to the magistrate judge's January 17th, 2025 discovery order. And that prior order, magistrate judge denied Mr. Luthmann's request for sanctions and other relief as moot after plaintiff Dinesh Noshervin withdrew a subpoena that had been served on Mr. Luthmann. He makes himself out to be pro se, but it's like, technically, legally, you're pro se, but as a pro se defendant with a law degree, should you be afforded the same thing as John? I'm not trying to use you as an example, but you're here. For Luthmann to claim in this that he is the writing that he is pro se, yes, legally he is pro se, but should someone like Luthmann, who has a law degree, be afforded the same technicalities and the same leniencies as a pro se defendant as John Cook? And I'm using you because you're here, only because you're here, not to throw you under the bus. Just FYI. Should they be the same thing? To me, him representing himself as I'm pro se, I'm a journalist who's pro se. You have a law degree. Should you be treated the same way as someone with no legal education? I don't think so. The thought process there makes me want to like, yes. Well, taking that part into we're not taking that part into account. We're just, I would feel this way about anybody. Lips, for example, or any attorney who was, even if they were still licensed or not practicing, but still not disbarred kind of situation. Any person with a legal education representing themselves as I'm a pro se defendant, because in the first page of that last document, he literally said, as a pro se defendant, I should be afforded certain things. The two, and this is where I have an issue with our legal system, because you have the right to defend yourself, and judges are more lenient on pro se defendants because of the fact that our legal system is so damn complicated, and the average person does not have education in that legal system. This is why we read things here, because it's interesting to me, but I also learn, and I like learning. However, should a pro se defendant, and like I say, John Cook, because you're here, be treated the same in a court as someone like Luthmann, who has a legal degree, or Lips, or even, bless his heart, I love him, but the expert, if he were to go into a courtroom as pro se, should he be treated the same as a pro se defendant who has no legal education at all? There's certain things that in this legal system of ours that I find very fucked up, and that is one of them. I know. So there's solutions. Neither one of them are like great ideas, but like there's no easy answers to this. But we have to admit that our legal system is complicated, and people who represent themselves are generally afforded a little bit more leniency on some things because of the fact that our legal system is so. There's a reason that you need a 3-year postgraduate degree or graduate degree to become a lawyer, because shit is complicated. It's like that's one of my issues with one of my big issues with the legal system here. Like, but that would be a legal system everywhere, because all legal systems are complicated. But I just have a big problem with him disingenuously misrepresenting himself in a court. Because if he did it here in the Middle District of Florida, will he not do it with Judge Bolitho? The judge here did not seem to fall for it. But yeah. Dry ice will pop out any dent. Well, damn, Mom, if that would have happened yesterday, I would have had some dry ice for you. It all melted. And I have to go. I hear my refrigerator. I'm pretty sure my child opened the refrigerator and did not close it. Give me 1 second. Thanks for your understanding and patience with Mom first, YouTube second. Thank you for your patience. Mama life is fun sometimes, you know? I don't recommend double knee surgery at all. Ooh, ACL's done? Holy crap. What the hell is wrong with you, John? Like, what the actual John? Gross. In summary, being the status of being a former attorney does not preclude someone from appearing per se. It only requires to meet the standard of competency and waiver to follow the rule. Yeah, it's just one of those, like, when he tried to represent himself as, I'm a pro se defendant, and he literally said that. That's where I'm like, yeah. So we're going to get past this is the next part of the exhibits. And I don't know what the judge is going to do with this, Judge Bolitho. I did not know. How am I supposed to know dry ice gets out dents? I got an order of ribeyes and burgers last night. Good Rancher's order came last night. So they pack it with dry ice. I didn't know. I didn't know you were going to get in an accident either. I swear that car has hit me written all over it. Ask me how I know. Well, Gary, playing devil's advocate, not everything that hurts like hell requires an ER visit. just a plain devil's advocate, because, you know. Hey, Shane, how are you? Let's get through this. And the problem with this being a case from a different case and then reposted or re-uploaded to a different case is that these, you know, get unreadable. So John said he had injections in his shoulders, and they gave the court paperwork to the judge yesterday. We got on the sidetrack of knees. Don't know how we did it, but we somehow got on the subject of knees. So the reason for the issue today was shoulders, but we got on the subject of knees. So inherent powers, rule 11, and I'm skipping through this. I just don't know how long this is, because Exhibit A. This is all from. Sorry, this picture, man. It's like he's trying to be harder than he is. You know when someone's trying to be a badass and they're really not. That's what that picture reminds me of. Yeah, the worst part is she blamed me for her backing into me. Yeah, like what the dumb bitch. Like, honestly, if I didn't want to dox myself and exactly where I live, I would put some of these people in this town that are fucking stupid, like, I don't know, my mom's boss, on blast. Timothy is the only person who really knows what area I live in, because he's literally like, I told him one story and he knew exactly of what school I was talking about. Sanctions request, mootness exception misapplied. Oh boy. Verified return of non-service. Verified return of non-service. Summons. Ooh. Like, this is all the return of non-service. Like, this is all. I'm just going to look at something real quick. And then, oh, thank you for this. There's the complaint from Luthmann versus Dinesh, SCOTUS Doxer Dinesh, aka can't. So that'll be a good read for a time when it is not a What the Hale's stream. But like, his point is he has used some of the addresses that he was attempted to be served at in this lawsuit. That it's just oh, hi Tammy. Oh, Tammy with an IE. I love my Tammys here. There's a certain Tammy in 3D World that doesn't like me. Don't worry, I don't particularly like her either. She never gets to see her granddaughter, if you know what I mean. Because we don't speak to her. Mr. Squid is home. So I love all my Tammys that come in my chat, because it's my Tammy crew. There's one Tammy on the internet that doesn't like me, but she doesn't like me because I don't. There was a post on the hater group about me and the fact that I'm not friends with Jeremy Hales, so I shouldn't be allowed to talk about this. I talk just because I said I'm not friends with him does not mean I hate the man. Like, John Cook is here. Like, I don't particularly like the man, but I'm not going out of my way to be an asshole. It's just, it is what it is. Not everybody's going to get along. And sorry, John, once again, didn't mean to throw you under the bus. You were just here. So it's just one of them things. However, it's just one of those things of like, certain people, I do have a certain beef with someone in the chat right now, who shall remain nameless, who liked a post hating on me. Don't think I didn't see that, but you know, we don't need to see his stuff. We only need to see what Jeremy put in here, or you know, John just duck squid incoming. And John, I'm really not trying to throw you under the bus. I promise. It's just you're here, so it's on the brain. He uses the same. He uses the same address every time in this, where he was attempted to be served, and it doesn't make any sense as to why. Let's another affidavit of service. I just have to go through, and this one I have to there we go. So the address that he uses, mainly I don't know. Oh, because I asked for super chats one day, and I was a grifter. I asked for super chats, and I had a birthday list or a housewarming list or whatever, and someone was like, you know, whatever. But there's a few people who liked it, and I'm like, you liked that post hating on me, yet you come in my chat and say hi to me like we friends. I hold nothing against you, but it's just funny to me. Like, it's just funny. So this address that is right here is not this address. Look at this. Defendant's last known address, Staten Island. But he puts, and Stads, thanks for the $1.49 super sticker. That was not a, hey, super chat me. That was just a, you know, I do appreciate the super chats when I get them. It's not expected. I'm a really bad grifter, even though people say I grift all the time. I joke that I'm like the world's worst grifter. I was taking grifting lessons from Vices before he passed away. God rest his soul. But yeah, right here. Okay, everyone, leave John alone. If it's the real John, he's being more polite than some others, and if he's not, how the fuck would he be able to answer these questions? Yeah, and that's the thing. I have no proof that it is the real John, but I have no proof that it's not. So we will take it as face value. As long as he's here and respectful, he is just as welcome as anybody else. Yeah. Yep, John knows he's welcome. Everybody is welcome. Guys, there's only one person who's blocked on this chat or from this channel, and nobody knows who it is. And it's not MLS and it's not Bubbles. Both of those I unblocked because it's been so long. So, yeah. Yeah, I think John's being really great. I had a good conversation. Yeah, and it's once again, also just because in general, we don't quote unquote like somebody doesn't mean that we have nothing in common with them. And that's my my part of society where this case has such a This is a microcosm of society as a large. Part of the reason that those people were putting those people on the what the Hale side were saying, I can't talk about this case as I'm not friends with Jeremy Hales. What, just because you are not friends with someone? I don't dislike Jeremy Hales, and I say this every damn time. Jeremy doesn't know my first name. If someone doesn't know my first name, I don't consider us friends. I have not talked to Jeremy Hales at all. I mean, he was on my channel once in December when I got a new mic for 3 minutes. We don't text. We don't talk on the phone. We don't email. We're not friends. Acquaintances? Sure. We're not friends. That does not mean that I hate people. I use the grocery store lady as an example. Say hi to the same woman at the grocery store every time I go. Or the greeter at Walmart. Say hi to her. She gives Baby Squid a sticker almost every time we go to the store. I have no idea what her name is. I don't talk to her on a regular basis. She's nice. We're not friends. Just because you don't have something in common with somebody or you don't talk to them every day does not mean that you don't have anything in common. We live in such a black and white, all or nothing. You either love me or you hate me. Like Gail and I disagree on stuff probably at least once a day where we just agree to disagree if we're having a conversation. But I don't hate Gail. Gail doesn't hate me. Gail's my biggest hype girl on this channel. It's like, it's such a microcosm of society as a whole. It's just, yeah. It's like if someone doesn't agree with you all the time, or Shane, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you have a disagreement with one person one time, or you just tell it like it is, or you're just like, I don't agree with you on that. Someone was like, you're argumentative and you're this and you're rude and you come across as that. I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to come across as intimidating or rude. And it's not Shane. Shane just knows what I'm talking about. But like, never once was I mean. I just didn't agree with someone on one time and I wanted to argue. Like, okay, whatever. You do you, boo-boo. So it's like people get so easily offended when you don't agree with them on one thing. It's like you're this or you're that. It's like, no, we disagree on shit a lot. And it is not. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of liars and hypocrites. But other than that, like, we can disagree on things and still be civil with each other. Yeah, right here. Marta, thank you. Just because you say that person is not your friend does not mean they are an enemy. Yes. And it's almost like it was the fact that I'm not friends with Jeremy. I should not have an opinion. It's kind of that situation. So it's like, it's just one of them situations. Like, it's not a black and white, all or nothing world that we live in. And this little piece of the internet, in this case, is such a... And John, going back to why you were upset with me, that is one of the reasons I did that particular stream, was there was so much people talking and not having any idea what they're talking about. I heard this, I heard this, I heard this. But do you know, have you seen proof? And until people have seen proof, let's go by the research. And yeah. And just because you use the word friend does not mean actual friend. Yes, there's also that parasocial relationship, which is interesting because I did that stream and then I heard 3 different creators talk about so I heard 3 different creators talk about parasocial relationships, which is kind of funny. So it's just one of those, yeah, a permanent acquaintance. Yes, Joe. Yeah, Moose Lady, people say Squid shouldn't talk about Jeremy because they're not friends. Only like 2 people said it. It was just, you know. I'm upset with Squid because I can barely hear Baby Squid right now. her dad is home. So we don't exist anymore because she is a daddy's girl through and through. Oh, hence your comment about Laura Owens. I didn't even see your comment about Laura Owens. Oh yes, yes. So you shouldn't be talking about Laura Owens either. Yes, Lindy, I see your point. Musi, Lindy is saying, no, Musi, Lindy was using the example, the someone who said I shouldn't talk about Jeremy Hales because we're not friends. Using that logic, I shouldn't talk about Laura Owens either. See how stupid it is when when you put it in the context of Laura Owens or Zachary Young or freaking president even, because you're not friends, you can't talk about them. It seems like such a yeah. I love that Squid's chat because everyone is open and has a respectful conversation. And that's the thing. Like I've started kind of laying the hammer down because I got lackadaisy for a little while where it was like people started getting a little bit too, even with me, usually I can take a lot, but like someone made a comment when I was joking about being sponsored by Delete Me or whatever. Delete Me won't sponsor me. I'm too tiny. However, someone made a comment in my comment section that says, well, to be fair, you couldn't do an ad read because you can't stay focused for 3 minutes. I'm like, my only response to that was bless your heart. Bless your heart. But with this, Musi, I appreciate you being protective of me. However, she didn't mean it like that. Like, so yeah. I understood what you meant. Using that logic. Using that logic of one person, if you put that logic onto a different topic, it sounds so stupid. You can't talk about, Zachary Young. You can't talk about Laura Owens. You can't talk about, the freaking asshat in Utah because you're not friends with them. It's like, it's not the way that shit works. Like, I can't talk about Megan's book because I'm not friends with Megan, kind of situation. Her book is now back on the bookshelf and no longer being used as a mic stand. Thanks to everybody who super chatted me, and this month I was able to buy a mic stand. So it's sitting here on my desk. So, Megan's book is no longer being used as my mic stand. I felt so bad, but it was like the perfect height. So it's just I think Facebook started the confusion about the word friend and its meanings. One better, think about this. Not Facebook, but MySpace. Because everybody had a friends list and everybody had Tom. Nobody knew Tom. But Tom was always everybody's number one friend. Not really a friend. He was MySpace bot. So it's just one of them situations where it was like, it's just one of those And hey John, how are you? We're kind of going over this last. My headache is starting to go away, surprisingly, with no medication. Narrative of due diligence. So the address that he used in this lawsuit was where he tried to conduct a service, and this was actually in the lawsuit or the motion. So we're not going to read the whole thing, but basically it's just showing his narrative of due diligence. These are just these are literally just the exhibits for the 12 pages. It's just a lot. And I'm going to make sure that I redacted this before I show it. Because there's a lot to redact in here. So there is sometimes when I'm like, I accidentally skipped one because I was going too fast when I was trying to do it. and it was like, eh. But showing this part, page 2, substitute service was accomplished by delivering a true copy of the summons together with a copy of the initial pleadings as stated above at the address in Jacksonville. The defendant, Mr. Richard Luthmann, confirmed he received these court documents the very next day by posting it online on a YouTube video called Unknown by Dick and Volt. I'm not a lawyer. I don't claim to provide legal advice. No, this was months ago, which is why I laugh about it, because one, I don't get really offended by that, because when I close my computer or like shut off my computer, like it, and I realize that in a country of 350 million people, not everybody is going to like you, and guess what? That's okay. Like, I am not for everybody. Thank you to everyone that gave Megan's book to boot. We need a first-class establishment. I didn't give her book to boot. Now it's on the shelf where we can actually read it instead of it being a mic stand. Because we are trying to upgrade some stuff around here, and somebody knocked on my door. So we have a thing of, if you talk about something on the internet, if you get served, don't talk about it on the internet. If you appear to be trying to evade service, do not talk about the fact that you got the documents on the internet. If you are in a lawsuit and you are trying to avoid the lawsuit for whatever reason, to each their own, don't go online and read on a podcast where people are reading legal documents. I have to go. Somebody's knocking on my door. Hot minute. I think the little locked out her dad. So, be back.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light.
I appreciate everybody for your patience. Mama Squid is here. This is one of the reasons that I don't stream past a certain time or between certain times, because shit gets psychotic around here. She is here with the car. So it's another request for waiver. All this stuff is basically everything that was mentioned. Redacted. So we are pretty much done with all 145 pages. Moral of the story, don't try to evade service. And if you are going to try to evade service, don't talk about it on the internet. That is one way to prove that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yes, it's the Mama Squid. Hey, woohoo, you-hoo. Oh, this, stick your hand in. There you go. There you go. Time to curb it for now. Yep. So I believe we've been at this for 2 hours. We are done. We made it through all 145 freaking pages of this document. No offense to Randy, because you put in there everything you needed to put in there, and 12 pages was the actual motion. The rest were just exhibits. So this was more of a discuss and think about what we think of this. It's kind of just one of those, oh yeah, I've never evaded service. I personally wish that everybody was served at once instead of waiting months in between each. And that's the thing, like, this is where I might have to disagree with you. Respectfully, of course. Diaper changing time. Somebody's not happy. However, John is, I can't take more stupidity. Getting back to John's comment, I think everybody should be served at once too. However, it seems like a couple of people, and this is not you. I do not. This has been known. I don't think it was for Jeremy's content. I think it was for their own. And because Jeremy's not getting, love him or hate him, he's not getting any more content out of this than the people who are supposed to be being served are. That's where it gets, like, my brain just goes crazy. Like, they are, I feel like someone in a certain city, in a certain state up north, is using this for his own content. Yeah, Randy didn't have control over how much drivel that Luthmann rants about, but they needed to be added to evidence. That's true. It's this right here, when someone is flouting that they evaded service as they're reading the court filing, that's not Jeremy getting content. That's my point. Like, I don't think this was heard. I think this was being used for content. I just don't think it was Jeremy's content. Because everybody lives in different states, and different states have different requirements. Also, it takes time. Also, if someone doesn't answer the door and doesn't return a request for summons, and the judge doesn't, my fault with the judge is, not standing his ground and being a little bit too lenient in having to file multiple motions for alternative service. It's like, can we just, have I not shown that we've tried alternative service? Email. Everybody's channels have emails. Yeah, if they hide, you can't get served. And but it is a great question. It's just, it's one of those, why are systems so damn complicated? Because each state is like a separate little freaking country with its own rules and own blue tape crocodiles. It is official that a 3-year-old can rip painter's tape. I checked. So, but he can answer a motion in 1 day, but can't get service out for months. And it's also not him. So if you look at this, so this is the third case. So I'm using this case, John, because 1, it was open, and 2, it has nothing to do with you, per se. So, like here, notice summons by Jeremy Hales, summons issued. Like, you can summon somebody, but Jeremy can't go to the person and be like, here's the summons, especially if they're in different states or they're not answering the door. Because we saw in that last 145-page freaking document how many times it was like, didn't answer door, didn't answer door, didn't answer door. If you can't find somebody, you can't serve them. And it's like, there are certain laws that have to be met and certain thresholds of, yes, we had to try multiple different ways to serve people. And if you can't find them, it's fucking annoying. Hey, Fluffy. Thanks for the comment for the algorithm. Everyone comment if you rewatch It Buys Groceries. Yeah, it does. Groceries are, you know how much food we waste when I have a 3-year-old who I cook and she doesn't eat what I cook, and then she's like, I want this or I want that. And it's like, we're not at the age yet, we're the size yet where I can be like, well, if you don't eat what I cook, guess you're not eating tonight. She's not old enough yet or heavy enough. So, well, he can only start when the lawsuit's filed. And there's certain 60 days, 90 days of waiting periods, which sucks. Like, you have to attempt for a certain period of time. And it's like, I don't know all the rules involved, but each district in each state has its own set of rules. So you not only have to go by the Northern District of Florida, you have to go by, it was no different than the Trespass 5 or the thumbnail case and Larry being in a different state. You have to get a process server in that state. All of that takes time, effort, and money. And that's where I think it's not an effort to See, John, when it was just you and Jeremy and Lynette, like, shit was simple. But all these extra people getting involved is making this so damn complicated. And it's just, oy. Hey, Karen. And it just seems to be so... Kevin, I think he means in the fact that he can't move forward with anything either. And playing devil's advocate, if I were in John's shoes, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, because I'm all up for being, but I like to play devil's advocate because I like to. Part of being I'm not a lawyer, but part of being a lawyer is to argue both sides, and part of being an occupational therapy assistant is trying to get into someone's head, see where they are coming from, and meet them where they are, instead of trying to expect them to come to you. Which is why I act some of the ways that I act. It's my college education. Everything goes through a lens of their therapy brain, OT brain. But John Cook, if I were in John Cook's shoes, I would want this shit done as fast as possible. Because at the end of the day, John doesn't have a YouTube channel. John's not getting any content out of it. Like, it's a pain in the ass for him. Like, it's, it's fucking, just a fucking pain in the ass for him. Especially because we don't know where some of the money went, and I don't believe that they got any of the money that they were promised. People are using them, and John, sorry, but you're being used. That's my opinion, and there's very few things that you can say to change my mind on that, but you're being used for content. And I think everybody else is trying to get their own content out of it because everybody else involved either has a YouTube channel or has an agenda. And I believe it was all trying to delay the case. The problem is they're delaying the case on someone that they consider a friend. And it's like, that would piss me off because I would want this shit done as fast as possible. So like, it's just, so I believe that is why, and like I said, I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, but if I were John, that would be where I'd be pissed. And then I'd be like, well, I can't move forward either because meh. So I get it, but John is a defendant. Where is he going, forward or backward, is irrelevant. But it's not, though, Kevin. It's not, because the faster that this is over with, the faster that John doesn't have to deal with any of these court filings and a judge and phone calls and regardless of anything, plain devil's advocate, the faster this is resolved, the only person who's not getting content or not getting money out of it is John. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Showing up on other people's podcasts or live streams does not make John any money. So John's not making any content out of it. And John, this is where I might defend you. But the faster this shit is over with, the faster that you can get on with your life too. And move past all of this crap. Just like Jeremy. That is what you two have in common. However, people are making content out of it. Yes, I am, but I'm not a party to this case. And I don't want to be a party to this case. So, and this is what I don't understand. Yeah. And I was referencing more the other defendants in the Fed 2 case, not so much yourself and LP. Because the original issue is yourself and LP and Jeremy. Just the three of you. Everybody else seemed to put themselves in the center of things where they shouldn't have. My personal opinion, and once again, my personal opinion doesn't have to be the same as everybody else's. So it's what I just said makes so much sense. Yeah, yeah, I'm one motion away from walking away from this. And it's just like John, I'm sorry, but you're getting screwed. And not in the sense of like the lawsuit by Jeremy taking that completely out of the equation, by people who said that they would help you and be on your side have literally fucked you over. Because everybody else is making money off of you and you are not making money off of anybody. But let's call a spade a spade. If it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck. Sorry, y'all don't have to agree with all my opinions. John, you don't have to agree with all my opinions, but everybody else has channels. Everybody else involved in this has channels. Except for you. And I've never actually thought about it exactly like that until now. But like, you're the only well yes, and that's a separate issue, but in the fact of people evading service, and even John asking why haven't people been served, because everybody is making money off of this except for you. On that side, Jeremy is spending a shit ton of money, so Jeremy not included. Strictly from the defendant's perspective, everybody that is a defendant in this case has a fucking channel except for you. Everybody is making money except for you. Yeah, and this right here, Shane, how's it going to cost me anything? I'm not in it. You're in Fed 1 and 2. This one right here is, I'm only using Fed 3 right here is what I'm calling it as an example because John wasn't involved in it, so I could pick it out and kind of make it like a neutral territory. Let's see if I can see another one. It's utilities. Come on. I need to go back to my homepage because you guys can see just how many cases that I'm looking at, because I want to look at a case that's not involved in any of this, not even in the same jurisdiction. Let's go with Blue Angels acoustic torture. We'll use that one as an example because I haven't checked the docket in a while. So we're so like this. So this is the complaint from where the lady in Seattle is suing the Blue Angels. The summons was electronically issued to all defendants. However, it hasn't been returned yet. So nobody's actually been served in this case. So it's let me make sure I'm not doxing anybody before I show this document. I'm gonna redact this. Well, it's all the summons. John Doe. John Doe. That's so stupid. You can't talk about, I'm downloading this, otherwise I'll have to pay for it again. So, and I can't redact it. Summons. Yeah, maybe. So excuse my I have to save it, otherwise I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. Federal Blue Angels lawsuit. There we go. And channel. You know when you organize stuff and then you try to find it, it's like, oh, you know. So I'm going to redact this real quick so I can show you what I... Like, this is what's sent out, but this is not always what is... Nothing has been returned yet. So these people haven't been served. With that being said, you can't move on with things until everybody's been served. The downside is to is like, here, a lawsuit's been filed against you. You have 60 days. Within 21 days after service of the summons, not counting when you received it, or 60 days if you were in the U.S., you must serve the plaintiff an answer. So it's like, this was July 22nd. So people haven't been served yet, and it makes it really difficult. And this lawsuit was filed in July. So the reason I haven't provided an update to this one is there is none. So it's just it's a crappy situation. Hey, Silver Fox, lurking and working. I love my lurkers. It's just that and that right there, which I never like to see anybody go to jail because it just sucks. But yep, Laura Owens' case started as a civil case. She's under indictment now for 7 felonies. Yeah, I haven't kept up with that one because too many other people are, and it's just I got too much on my plate. So it's just a yep, Laura Owens was in civil and got referred to criminal. Now she's facing felonies. And hey, Rhea, how are you? So yeah, BC Cannon, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Sadly, I believe a lot of this is escalated by people believing hearsay repeated to instigate problems.
Texting and driving. You know?
My 3-year-old is texting and driving. Hey, Mom, apparently she texted Grandpa yesterday a big, long, like...
Gabbly-doo.
Yeah. Just as long as she doesn't call 911 again, we're all good. My 3-year-old. But, like, you can see that this is what you get served. And if you're not... like, and this is proof of service. This would be filed with the court, and none of this is filed with the court yet. As you can see in whoop, in this.
Oh, yeah, she's doing it again.
StreamYard, you are something special. StreamYard still hasn't solved the thing of being able to just quickly change screens. Like, none of the summons has been returned yet. So none of these people have been served. So shit takes a while. And when people are suing you in the Western District of Washington, but you live in Florida, because it's Blue Angels, they're in Pensacola. It's one of them situations that just gets a little testy. Yeah, Fed 3 is the one going against the state attorney, Rex Owens or Owen, or there's got to be something with the name Owen that's just not good. So, anyway, I believe that we are going to call it a day. John, thanks for hey, recall who is she watching, texting, driving? No way, it's Squid. She's trying to text Grandpa from her phone. So saw where kid called 911 on Mom for eating all the ice cream. They showed up. Then bought an 8-year-old ice cream. She accidentally called 911 one time. We had a couple cops show up at her house, and when Mr. Squid was like, yeah, you can take her in, and they came inside, saw that she was 3, they kind of laughed, but like, I don't want to repeat of that. Anyway, we are going to call it a day. It's been over 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours. It has been nice to hang out with y'all. Thanks, John, for having a civil conversation. I can appreciate that. I don't know what will happen with the depositions and whether they gave court notice and time and how all that works, but we will see where it goes. Yeah, will they bring a 55-year-old ice cream? Asking for a friend. So it's just way too complicated, but I stand by my opinion that John is the only person of the defendants in Federal 2 that doesn't have a YouTube channel and is not making any money or getting any content out of this. I believe everybody else is. That's my stance, and I'm sticking by it. So, sorry, John. I don't mean to use you as an example, but I kind of feel for you because everybody who said they would help you is not helping you, and it sucks. So, Grift. grift. I don't grift, but please, if you haven't hit that like button, please do. Maybe he should make a channel. Whatever. I don't gatekeep YouTube. I definitely don't gatekeep YouTube. So anybody can do anything that they want. Whether people choose to watch, I don't have any control over. Nor will I, because I don't gatekeep YouTube. Because gatekeeping YouTube and gatekeeping YouTube and telling people who not to watch based on who I do or don't like is borderline of that tortious interference with business relationships, and we ain't even getting to that line. I don't even want to get there. Shane, was great catching you live. Had a bad night's sleep. It's the only reason I'm up early enough to see you. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Bad night's sleep suck. And JKD Buck, thanks for the $2 super chat. Thanks, Squid. No, thank you. Ta-ta, and people, I don't talk about the court cases, so don't even waste your time asking me. Fair enough. But John, if you want to see for yourself what was said in that GA1 live stream, even Bruce, probably blowing smoke up my butt, but even Bruce complimented me on the way I handled that. I don't know how to take that compliment in an email, but it was in an email, and I have it as proof. Tug had it too. But so it's one of those situations where I didn't mention the person. I wanted to clear the air on the health concern. So I will link it, the GA1 stream, for those of you who haven't seen it. I made a video or a live stream on GA1 specifically and what the range of things that can happen. You can look fine, you can be fine, and then you can not. And we don't judge. So that was just wind script. So we don't judge anybody's medical conditions unless they've showed you the documentation. Because you don't know what somebody else is going through if you don't walk a mile in their shoes. I was gaslit for years by doctors and my own coworkers telling me, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. My headaches were made up, and then I had brain surgery. So just because you can't see a problem doesn't mean there isn't one. So before we judge, just know that you can't always see shit, and we don't judge, especially health stuff in 2025. Yes. So all medical conditions are really a spectrum. Yes. She's on her trampoline. She ain't coming over here. But y'all have a great day. Let's see if there's anybody to send you to. Anybody know who's live right now? Content. Let's see. Oh, for those of you who watch my what the Hale stuff, because I do stream on more than just what the Hale stuff. Friday, we are reading actual court documents from the Epstein case. So we've seen headlines back and forth about this person denied, this person denied, this person denied, a liberal judge does this, Trump does this. Well, we're going to read the actual documents, see what the government asked to be released, how they wrote it, judge them on how they wrote it, and then read the 14-page document from the judge. Because you've seen headlines about liberal judge did this, but it's not a one-page order like Bolitho writes. It is 14 pages. And we're going to look to see whether it's actual legal issues or it's government grandstanding. We're going to see. So, Living Life with Sarah. Evening Chat with Sarah. Living Life with FND is live right now, and we're going to go redirect over there. So, give Sarah a like, a follow. She is chronically undersubbed. She talks about the issues with functional neurological disease and the gaslighting that is our medical system. Go say hi to her, and I might try to watch in the next 4 days because I'm not allowed. I will link it to the description of this video so it's easy to find. I will do that right after I say, see ya.